Hey, big cat, welcome to my therapy. This ain't your ordinary world, it's extraordinary. See, I'm a high priestess, light walker, here to guide your way through the waves of life. We'll find a new path to embrace. Tarot, astrology, numerology in our hands. No weapon formed against you shall ever stand. We're winners, we never quit, we always keep on going. Quitters never win, but we're always growing. Hey there, big cat, let's chase the highest vibration. Together we'll create a new world, a brand new nation.
Namaste! Grand Rising Big Cat Air Signs. Welcome or welcome back to Big Cat Astrology, Big Cat Wave, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. The planetary hot topics to add to your almanac over the next 7 days. Air Signs. Rising Sun and Moon, the 9th to the 15th of December 2025. When the truth hits your mind, your whole life levels up. Activated houses, the 7th of Revelations and Commitments, and the 4th of Home and Foundation. Air signs, this week slaps you awake with clarity about who's genuine and who's been wasting your oxygen. Ha ha! Let the games begin. A conversation reveals what someone really thinks, not what they pretend to feel. Your intuition and intellect sync perfectly, making it almost impossible for people to lie to you convincingly. A boundary you set mentally becomes a physical one that others finally respect. A relationship or partnership shifts because your standards rise without apology. Your voice gains precision and your silence gains power. Both hit harder. The bold truth: once the mind clicks, there's no going back to playing small. Chinese Zodiac Intel for the 9th to the 15th of December 2025. 2025 is the wood snake year. It filters through mental clarity, communication, and the truth roof. Pinkies up. And air days sharpen conversations as dog hands you the energetic influence over the pig, exposing what was kept quiet. The air sharpens for tiger, horse, and dog. You gain sudden clarity because conversations reveal emotional motives instantly. Snake, monkey, and dragon dissect patterns with forensic precision, noticing what others miss. Ox, goat, and rabbit protect their energy by withholding emotional investments from unstable people. Rat, rooster, and pig receive unexpected communications that expose hidden solutions. Consequently, the collective enters a truth window centered on information, exposure, and evidence-based decisions. For air, windows always reveal what was whispered behind closed doors. Sign-specific breakdown. Libra, the 4th house of home and foundation. A household matter reaches clarity. A personal boundary shocks everyone who underestimated your patience. Peace becomes a non-negotiable requirement. You redesign emotional safety on your terms. Aquarius, the 7th house of relations and commitment. You see someone's real character with brutal clarity. A commitment shifts because your standards elevate. An anchor into truth instead of potential. Gemini, the 7th house of relations and commitment. A truth about a partnership lands cleanly. A silent tension finally gets addressed. Your communication becomes impossible to misinterpret. A decision strengthens your long-term connections. Personal numerology. On the 9th of December, the personal days are 9 for endings, release, and karmic closure. On the 15th of December, the personal days are 6 for harmony, alignment, and relational correction. The arc, You finish what drains you and return only to what supports you. World astrology. Mars squares Saturn. It exposes diplomatic failures, triggering global recollaboration in alliances and treaties. The Moon in Pluto opposition fuel mass protests, social justice movements, and emotional uprising across continents. Neptune direct reveals misinformation campaigns, media manipulation, and hidden economic instability. Mercury in Sagittarius accelerates truth-telling, whistleblowing, leaked communication, and ideological confrontations. Mercury sextile in Pluto transforms global narratives, giving power to the voice, demanding transparency. The world shifts from illusion to interrogation. Everything gets questioned. Helpful initials are prophetic clues tied to real-time planetary transit. Each letter represents a name, a place, or a thing. Astrology bulletins for the next 7 days. On the 9th of December, the Moon in Leo is in opposition to Pluto in Aquarius. A relationship dynamic exposes its power imbalance. Someone's behavior reveals their true motives. A hidden tension breaks open and pride forces honesty. You choose self-respect over appeasement. The fixed star Regulus, crown of the lion, granting empowerment, courage, and righteous leadership. Helpful initials B, K, R. On the 10th of December, Neptune is direct in Pisces. Your intuition becomes undeniable. A truth emerges from beneath old confusion. Illusions dissolve under an emotional or relational situation. A spiritual insight strengthens your boundaries. You see the whole picture without distortion. The fixed star Alcanar, the river's end, granting resolution, protection, and finality. Helpful initials L, M, R. On the 11th of December, Mercury enters Sagittarius. A conversation delivers the clarity you needed. Someone speaks boldly, maybe too boldly, and reveals truth by accident. A plan accelerates through honesty. You break through mental stagnation. You're stopping the editing of yourself for fragile egos. The fixed star Antares, the warrior's heart, exposing truth and empowering transformation. Helpful initials E, N, W. On the 12th of December, the Moon in Libra trines Pluto in Aquarius. Peace returns through emotional intelligence. You negotiate with confidence. Balance becomes your strength. Decisions feel cleaner and clearer. The fixed star Zubin Neshameli, sacred scales granting justice, clarity, and karmic alignment. Helpful initials U, Z, X. On the 13th of December, the Moon in Sagittarius sextiles Pluto in Aquarius. A conversation shifts the emotional landscape instantly. A revelation strengthens your future decisions. Mental clarity becomes your weapon. You reclaim narrative control. The fixed star Altair, the eagle's eye, granting precision, perception, and elevation. With strategic dominance. Helpful initials D, M, T. On the 14th of December, the Sun in Sagittarius squares Saturn in Pisces. Someone gets held accountable for their inconsistency. You cut off an energetic drain with finality. You choose stability over sentiment. A long-term decision forms. The lesson finally is complete as the fixed star Raz Al Geti, the warrior's judgment, exposing weakness and rewarding discipline. Helpful initials H, X, Z. On the 15th of December, the moon in Scorpio is in opposition to Jupiter in Taurus. Emotionals intensify but reveal the deeper truth beneath. A financial or relational insight hits suddenly. Overindulgence will be checked. You gain perspective and wisdom wins over impulse. The fixed star, Jenna, the healer's mark, restoring balance and teaching emotional maturity. Helpful initials C, L, U. Air signs. You see exactly who deserves a seat at your table. Your mind becomes your superpower again. Truth replaces guessing. Alignment returns through clarity. Your next level begins with the one honest conversation. Until we meet again on these astrological streets, make a wave.